YouTube strictly forbids content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups based on race, ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, or sexual orientation or gender identity, whose primary purpose is to incite hatred on the basis of those core characteristics. In this particular podcast, we will not be questioning or invalidating Greg Onision's veteran status. We're simply giving an Iraq veteran's perspective on Greg's military service.
People who like to crap all over my military service, looks like you now have to admit that I am a U.S. veteran and maybe get over whatever personal problems you have with me and have the decency to thank me for my service. Thank me for my service. Thank me for my service. Thank me for my service.
God.
Clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
Cosby.
Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Broadcasting live from the heart of your most badass YouTube broadcasting off and on ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tommy D, and this job is boy. My point man today is none other than the Dead on Dave, and he is probably you tend to remember more acronyms and shit like that than I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might be a good encyclopedia for you today.
Yes. I had to I have to write shit down because I'm dope.
Old.
Yeah.
We're going old.
First of all, how old are you again? Let's just get that
Okay,
out.
first off, I'm a very young, about to be 35-year-old.
All right.
Look at my face. I'm gorgeous.
Okay? 5.5 years younger than me. Big fucking deal.
I'll take it, motherfucker.
All right, I've been wanting to do this since last June. The problem is the information I found from my own knowledge of the military, some of it wasn't accurate. And here's the thing. I'm no fan of Greg Onision. In fact, I think he is what Nick Cash called a cuck. But I'm sorry. I'm not bashing somebody, especially on something like this, unless I got all the facts together. I think now that we do have all the facts together. If I am unsure of any of these facts or I can't verify them, I'm going to tell you so. Because Greg does deserve that respect. But, Joy, fear not. I heard you're bitching on fucking Twitter. We're not going to validate them. We're probably just going to show what dopes like you who jump the gun and don't know what they're talking about got wrong.
Wrong.
And the first one, right off the bat, he wasn't discharged dishonorably.
Oh.
Not at all. Here's another one. While you could speculate that the conscientious objector status was done to get out of the military, there's no evidence. You know why? Because you'd have to get in his fucking head.
Which we can't do, and you don't
Can't
want
do
to
it.
anyway.
That being said, there's enough shit this guy did in the military, actually on social media, before he became Onision, that is more than criticizable, and it is legitimate speculation through our experience that was probably one of the reasons things didn't work out.
Right. Almost 20 years combined between the two of us. We got a little bit of a leg to stand on.
Yes. And even Dave saw some combat. All right. And I just, well, actually, I don't know. Should I start with the video or should I go with the, I'm really interested.
Video's always fun first. Video's good.
Video's good. Let's go video right away.
Video.
This is a video they put out a couple years ago about his experience in the Air Force. It's really fucking amazing. Go ahead.
Someone asked me to make a video about my Air Force experience. For videos like these, I have a short attention span, so let's just get to the negative.
Well, it doesn't matter how you're going to edit it, so it doesn't matter how long or short your attention span is. You rocket
Why does he
scientist.
say shit like that?
I don't know.
What's the point of that? I love it.
You know what? I tell you, the point is to set the tone of shitting on the military right away. Okay.
This screenshot is from a music video that I made while I was in the Air Force. In the music video, I shit all over the military. And this is around the 3-year mark of me being in the military.
Okay. Illegal. Right off the fucking bat. Right. I had this up before, and you can check this out for yourself. DOD Directive 1344.10. Political activities by members in the armed forces. You can clearly see in this video, we might be playing a little bit later, that this is a political statement. Can't do it in uniform. You can vote. You can't. You can't do anything else. It doesn't matter how you feel about the president. You plenty of soldiers that didn't have a great opinion. $10 right up there. Greg, you're responsible for your taxes.
The classic.
Not TurboTax.com. A classic. Maybe I'll play that too for fun.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's always a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Here, to make the long and the short of this. Can't make political statements while you're in the military. Knew plenty of honorable soldiers that were disgusted with George Bush. Never made those statements while they were in the military.
You can't as a soldier. You cannot be representing yourself as a soldier. That's a very important thing to denote.
You guys
you can make some comments, but you can't as a soldier.
As a soldier in uniform. Actually, out of uniform, there's more you can do out of uniform than you can. But I mean, and some of them is video related, but it's a fine line to walk, and you best not do it. Here's another thing. I didn't say shit about Obama, and I do not have a high opinion of him. While I was in the military, he was my commander and chief. And I wasn't proud of it. I didn't like the way he handled the military or public policy, and towards the end, I became ashamed. But I never said anything until I was out of the reserves, because that's
you respect
the right
the uniform
thing to do. I respect the office.
Yeah.
Air Force Instructional 51 by 902, political activities by members of the U.S. Air Force. Look her up. All these ARs. Army AR 600 by 200. Army Command Policy, paragraph 5.3. Political activity in Appendix B. It's all
getting my Army boner a little bit hard here with all this fucking all these citing of fucking rules and regulations. I kind of like it.
So are you starting to get the picture? Maybe why this guy was having a problem. He's breaking a fucking law.
Because he's the same guy then that he is now.
Yeah, I know. That's the one thing I like about Greg. Greg never changed, and he never will.
Never changed. No, we're going to show that really clearly, too.
And I want to just shout out, because I know I'm going to hear this. Well, why can't he make political statements when you're in the military? Aren't you a free citizen? You forfeit some of your constitutional rights when you join the military.
It's called service.
If you don't know that, you should be kicked out.
This picture was taken
of me. Service.
Yes, it's service for a reason.
Service.
While I was still at Lackland Air Force Base. As you can see, I wasn't a very happy camper. When I was in the Air Force, I cut my own hair.
Good for you.
I love the first thing that he says is fucking cosmetic. Isn't that great?
Oh, yeah, that's
it's
fun.
So Greg. It's so Greg.
Yeah, but it gets better. Watch this.
A lot of people in the Air Force are absolute psychopaths when it comes to your haircuts. If you're
in fucking basic.
The Air Force has the most lax hair regulations of all the services.
Of all of them. Of absolutely all of them. He was probably, and I think I know why his was probably a little more to our standard than it was, because it's going to shock. He went to Special Forces training.
Shocking.
And Special Forces training in the Air Force ain't no joke. Look, I've made my share of Air Force jokes, right? A lot of them are just bullshit and ball busting. You're in the Special Forces. You're a bigger badass than me and Dave combined. Now, he did wash out, and we'll get to that later. Here we go.
Hair even comes remotely close to your ear, especially in security forces. Many individuals in
I was right.
the supervisory roles will flip their shit on you. And we're talking about your hair just touching your ears a little. So naturally, I constantly had to shave my own hair this goddamn short. And
this is every bit of evidence why he did not belong.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He did not
this is great.
belong.
No.
You can't, I mean, you are literally showing me your fucking head trying to make yourself out to be a victim? Are you joking? Are you worried about your individuality in an institution that asks you and then commands after you sign the dotted line to give it up?
Right.
I mean, you have to be out of your mind.
There are many points when I just
vain.
Yeah, oh God, that's see.
He probably thinks
this
the
is why I
show
don't
is
do
about it. And
podcasting.
it is.
You know, like the thing is, like, that's why I don't podcast in this guy. Most of the podcasts I've done in this guy aren't even that good because it's just like redundant.
Shaved my whole goddamn head, but probably not for the reason you think. See, if you look at this photo closely, you'll see a little patch of hair that's missing. And
how many guys had those scars?
I got a whole bunch of them right up here.
I didn't get any for some reason.
A medical professional at Tinker Air Force Base because I had a literal cyst in my head and I wanted them to remove it, and they refused to remove it.
They removed it with the clampers. I've seen that. I actually have seen this guy's coming out over Fort Jackson bleeding. Bleeding. Sorry, if you can't take a bloody head, you can't take combat. I can't believe that Special Forces even looked at this guy.
And was clearly that
he must have been. The only thing I can come up with is he must have been in incredible shape.
Incredible shape. That's not
PT
beyond.
Scores.
Come on.
He must have had off the chain PT scores.
Had to have.
Must have.
They didn't have enough medical.
Serious shit.
He must have. The training he's done. I mean, we'll get into that in a minute. It's like the training he'd done was, actually
Quite fucking
enviable.
impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
Experience to actually follow through with the procedure. They didn't refer me to another doctor who did know what they were doing. They instead just basically shrugged me off. So I went home and I stuck a needle in my head and I made the cyst explode out of my head. The only reason my hair was missing in that photo was because the cyst put so much pressure on my scalp that it conflicted with the hairs that were already there. This picture here is actually from me when I was in boot camp. We had a tech sergeant and a staff sergeant who were in charge of our flights. I was informed not long after we graduated basic, the staff sergeant was allegedly removed from her position due to her supposedly losing her temper and punching a trainee in the face.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh no. Not drill sergeants doing things like that. I mean, fuck, that's unheard of.
Well, first of all, you can't do that. You will get removed. But I have trouble. I just can't believe this. It's very.
I got hit.
It's very tough to me to. It's very difficult for me to believe that. But again, there's no evidence for it.
And this is no surprise to me. That training instructor.
Oh, you got hit. I got hit. I got hit. You got hit. I got my head banged against the wall once.
Remember, this was 2001.
Yeah.
So
no, I figured it was a lot worse, a lot better than getting shot. Scrub $5, and that's why kids should be spanked. You know what? I'm not. I'm actually. You guys have never heard me speak out on that. I'm not a big fan of that shit. And I don't hit my kids, but you're driving a fucking good argument.
Doctor was a nut.
Not that I could fucking admit it if I did.
Case. A lot of people would like you to believe that the Air Force is just a typical job, and that is complete and utter bullshit.
Wait, stop. If anybody thinks that the Air Force is a typical fucking job, I want you to grab the heaviest fucking thing that you can find and slam it against your head. How could you possibly think that anything service-related is a typical job? It's a life.
It's wrong.
Whamp, whamp, whamp.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord.
Talk about, I mean, he hasn't learned to fuck. He's been out he joined like 2 months after I did. He hasn't learned a fucking thing. This is in 2016. I mean, literally, he was out 11 years. Oh, no, he wasn't out 11 years, but he had joined 11 years. Nothing sunk in.
One of the many unprofessional things that my training instructor did was isolated a few airmen, and then with one of her military friends, order us to assume degrading positions while she laughed at us.
Probably called front lean and rest.
Yeah, front lean and rest position. Boom. God damn.
God, man.
Position basically involved us laying on our backs and putting our legs and our arms up in the air kind of like this. With her authority.
Are you kidding me? That's a punishment. That's not degrading. That's a punishment. You put your, all right, what he's talking, you put your, and then you go and you kick back and forth. And it hurts.
No, he's talking about dying cockroach, where you have your arms and legs fully up in front like your dog.
Yeah.
But it's called a dying cockroach.
Well, I can tell you 100 fucking times. I've done it before, whatever the fuck it's called. And I can tell you it's not against regulations. So you're being punished, sir. Oh, excuse me, not sir, airman.
Forced us to maintain this position as she continued to mock us and dehumanize us. Throughout my experience, I saw airmen break down in tears, crying hysterically because of how these allegedly brave, honorable individuals had treated them. In fact, the first night of basic, I spent a good amount of time comforting one of the airmen because he was crying so hysterically due to
another guy didn't belong.
Look, there was at least 4 people in my platoon in base training that cried the first night.
Everybody fucking cried at one point, just about if you got caught doing it.
You know what? It's a really good thing.
Yeah.
I actually like something he said there.
Yeah.
It's good that you're supposed to, it's about breaking everybody down so they come together as a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if
that's
you
actually a
did
good
comfort
point.
somebody, good on you.
You should. Good on. Yeah,
to.
no, it's true. Comfort, but but you know, it shouldn't be comforting in a way that it should be this way. You're a fucking bitch. You know, fucking gut. That's the bad way. The other bad way is they're bad people. No, we're gonna get through this together. That's what. I'm gay. This is tough. It's gonna be harder than we thought. Onision got discharged once. Yahoo!
Is that a 5er?
First, no, it's not a 5er. It's 2. Thank you. She only got discharged once.
to the poor treatment. But of course, when you go to sites that review the U.S. Air Force, everybody wants to be a good old boy. We all want to be part of the team. This is America. If we say negative truths about the Air Force, we're no longer patriotic. My question to you is...
I wouldn't say that this is unpatriotic, but it definitely, it shows Joe didn't belong there and you were not capable of serving. Don't worry, only 1% of the American population is really even able to serve.
Yeah, what do we got? 340 million people in the United States. How many soldiers are there currently?
It's. I think active duty. It's only between 1 and 200,000.
Yeah, but I think 250 max right now.
It's a million if you put everybody together, but it's like it's only between 1 and 200,000 at the end of the day.
For active, I believe.
And you couldn't cut it. That's all this tells me.
Which is okay.
Yeah,
which is okay.
Let me tell you something. When I got back from Iraq, I had some very different attitudes about George Bush and the war, and unfortunately, I had to fucking look it straight in the eye. But I never ever behaved like this. I did things wrong.
Sure.
I did things wrong. I did fucked up. I did bitch stuff. I had to get corrected. You know,
We've
I did-
shammed. We've
There's-
done some
I
shit.
share. I shammed. I did all this $5. So that being in the Air Force is roughly the same as working at Starbucks. General, I've made mistakes.
Exactly what it is, yes.
Being
Frappuccino, motherfucker.
Frappuccino. Frontline rest position, move.
Don't misspell the general's name.
But I think this is outrageous that you've come to this conclusion and portraying your. I got to be honest with you, great drill instructor, great drill instructor.
Especially after having so much time to actually, reflect
If
upon
that's
it.
all
But
she
I don't
did,
think he reflects.
she's doing her fucking job. Having watched the Air Force experience secondhand through my ex, I can tell I can tell Greg didn't know shit. He was never meant to be in the Air Force. That's the way I feel.
Which is fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Not everybody's cut out for it, I wouldn't even say everybody's a coward. There's just not everybody's cut out for it. And it's more than physically, too, because, from the records I see here, Greg had to have been cut out for it physically.
He was a super troop physically, no question.
Yeah, it must have been.
Look at it now. He's still in amazing shape.
Let's see. Yeah, he's in amazing shape. Greg signed up for the Air Force in 2005 when he's 19 years old. On May 27th in 2005, Greg graduates boot camp. On May 30th begins SEER school. This is a school that's extremely difficult to get into, and it's very rare that you don't wash out of it. It's a tough fucking school. It's a tough school. It
is. It's one of the toughest. It's a survival school. It's all about surviving, enduring, evading. I forgot the acronym, of course, because I'm stupid. But
on June 20th, he drops out of SEER school due to refusing to kill a rabbit in June. Dave, you did confirm that they do kill rabbits in SEER school.
Yes, they absolutely do. So people who were trying to point it out and saying it didn't happen, no, it's actually very common practice. It's been something that's been done for a long time. They use both rabbits and chickens. In fact, there's a very, very, very highly publicized argument that happened between the Air Force, or actually the military, and PETA in 2016 about the entire situation, which the Air Force did not relent on. Good for them.
You can't kill a rabbit, can't kill a person.
And by the way, SEER stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. It's a badass school, kids.
You'd be a bad mother. I couldn't do that. I don't know if I could have got to that class.
I know I couldn't have. I did some.
And
how did we
manage to get honorable discharges? Fully honorable discharges.
Fully. Important word.
Fully. Grilled around, and Greg designs a SERE website, goseer.com, and received an LOR. Now, I have not been able to confirm. LOR is a letter of reprimand. This is a career ender. Can't get promoted. Doesn't matter if you can get, like me and Dave both got.
We both got company grade Article 15s.
We got company grade Article 15s for separate reasons. We didn't know each other at the time.
No. Yeah, mine was in 2003. You weren't even in the Army when I got mine.
Dave's was stupid. Mine was even stupider. But I never fucking, I never said fuck the Army or fuck my country. I said fuck the goddamn guy that enforced this stupid law. I was mad at my commander. And I got over it. And if I saw my commander again, I'd shake his fucking hand. Guess
what you did? The same thing I did. You drank water and you drove the fuck on.
Drink water. That's right. You see, this is the site. During the early 2005, the site was down with a message from Greg stating that it was hacked by Jesus crazy Brazilian hackers. Greg provides the hacker site and email address.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
Jesus crazy
Those
Brazilian
hackers come up with great names like Lizard Squad and stuff. It proves that because you love Jesus, it doesn't mean you're immune to arrest by the U.S. government or cyber terrorism. You know what the fucking funny thing about that is? He sounds like something he would say now.
It does. Because he's not changed.
Yeah, he hasn't grown at all.
Same guy. He's done no reflection, no retrospective, nothing. You learn nothing from your mistakes.
After the alleged hacking, Greg turned the site briefly into a redirect to his Mr. Odd site, then began his default green website links. By July of 2005, Greg turned the site into Gregory J site, tagline, the abnormal realm of Gregory J. Daniel. Seen right. Gregory J site is originally debuted on his Gregory Daniel URL, but was moved to tardout.com to make room for a more complex site. Most of the site was not archived, but the homepage and news page were. The site seemed to be centered around experiences at the Air Force. So I don't see where that source I don't see what that source actually proves without a shadow of a doubt that he had an LOR. I don't know, and I have not been able to. Greg did not confirm that I found that he had an LOR. That's pretty serious.
It is, but I mean, based off of the things that the LOR is allegedly about, that's something you would get one for.
Yeah, this
Not
is
saying he did.
TARD, 97.3. Seemed to be a comedy radio show. Tard was more likely shorthanded for retarded, which referenced the contact page. We know we're retarded. We know we're smart. We know the jokes are lame. We know they're brilliant. Tard is a revolutionary website broadcasting hundreds of billions to all around the world, bringing mentally handicapped, and many more personalities to fit web radio. Fit everyone's needs, excuse me. Join the alliance and we still swamp. Thank you so much, $5. Apparently torturing your girlfriend is a lot easier than killing a rabbit.
Dude, that was right in the baby maker. Well played.
Fucking verse. That's
you're getting a gay conductor half for that one.
Yeah,
verse.
that's a really
Holy
good one.
fuck.
Verse is vicious. That's why.
Vicious.
That's
why you like him so much.
That's why he's on the team. We'll still swamp undeniably entertaining wondrous garbage for Tard in the beginning. Well, you know, and if I had to guess, and this is a guess, if he did get an LOR, which I cannot establish, with 100% truth, maybe somebody else could show it to me. It very simply could be this video that I'm about to play for you, which is a video that he referenced. This video was initially called, let me see if I get it up here. I'm so, something like I'm so War Machine, but he changed it to I'm so military when he re-uploaded it. This is the video while he was in the Air Force. Here it is.
Let me stand up straight for you. Let me represent.
Why don't you fucking iron that BDU, bro?
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Oh, fuck. You can see it now. I forgot to turn that on. Look at that shit. Iron that shit.
Oh, God.
Iron that shit.
Out of
Iron
regulation, troop.
No wonder. He should have got a friggin', he should have got an LOR for that. I hate that conductor.
Crimes against fashion.
I hate that conductor that breaks things, so take it off. Oh, man.
Let me pretend I respect you, but first let me...
I had to pretend I respected a lot of jackasses. Military members do not have the same speech freedoms you do. Oh, man, this is starting to get redundant already.
Event. Don't be scared of the facts.
Don't be scared of the facts. Over 1,300,000 dead due to the Iraq invasion. There you go. That's political statement, buddy. You get an LOR for that, like lickety split.
No.
They warned us about this shit.
You can't do it in uniform, dude.
Here's another thing. My and Dave's military career run parallel in the same time, so it's not like we didn't know what the military was like. In fairness, we don't know what the Air Force was like as far as day-to-day, but there are a lot of things that are universal.
Yeah, and we worked, and I know I did at least. I worked with quite a few airmen over my fucking years. I was stationed with a few of them. I've done some stuff.
Yeah,
I
with
know.
Brandon, we used to play cards with him. Yeah, I mean, he was over here in V-Spot with us.
You fear me making the call. You're afraid of the truths I tell. You wish I would just go...
Nobody's afraid of fucking anything. Everybody just wants to get their job done and go home.
Certainly not afraid of you.
Nobody's afraid of you. Like, you're making their jobs more difficult. No wonder you had a hard time.
AWOL.
Here's the thing. That's what I want to hear. Let's
Tell. You wish I would just go AWOL.
I'll bet. And if I had to guess, I don't know for a fact, that's why they actually let you off on a conscientious objector status. Because any other jackass that went in there would have been told, get the fuck out of here.
Right. But he was a pain in the ass.
So they said, you know what? Sign right here if I had to guess.
Would you like airfare? Would
yes.
you like cab ride home?
You know what? We'll take it all. You're
pain in the ass.
Here you go, hero.
We've known guys like this, man.
God, yeah.
It makes it difficult, not just on himself, but for everyone around him, and you can't have that in a unit.
And the thing is, you can't kick the shit out of anybody anymore. And so the best thing to do, especially if you're a commander, just get the fucking guy out of here.
Just get him out.
He's screwing up morale.
He doesn't want to be here anyway.
He doesn't want to be here. He said, and you don't. God, I mean, you don't want him anywhere near you.
And that's what happened if we had to guess.
In July of 2005, Greg gets tested due to chest pains, or cheek pains, it says here, but chest pain, but he's cleared. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It's got to be chest pains.
Yeah,
there's no cheek pains. I looked it up. Fucking, there's no cheek pains.
This is simply unbelievable what I'm about to read here. I mean, I just can't.
Oh, it's Wiki, so yeah, it's definitely.
It's not Wikipedia. This is a critical site of but some of this stuff has actually been confirmed by him. On August 8th, now this is one of these things that confirmed by Greg. On August 8th, Greg begins Special Forces training in San Antonio, Texas, and Lackland Air Force Base. This is one of the highest honors you can have.
Right.
And even if you wash out, no one gives a shit because it's Special Forces. You can wash out. Like, there's certain things you can't wash out from. Special Forces is one of them. Because if Delta's the pro team, this is the minor leagues for Delta. You know, if you want to look at it that way.
For this school,
like
it's got a 20%
like
washout
AAA
rate.
ball, if you can think.
It's certainly not the highest washout rate by any stretch, but it's still substantial.
It's huge, man. Greg writes a blog post on how he is not pleased with the training.
They love that.
How the training. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me read this. Greg writes a blog post on how he is not pleased with how the training is run, and the Special Forces guys know what the fuck they're doing, and calls out a MLT for cursing. Don't curse at me.
Don't curse at me.
This guy's Generation
You're going to the
Y.
special training.
You know what? I've heard the military's filled with fucking Gregs now.
Oh yeah, I've heard the same thing.
You can't curse at me. What the fuck? How are you going to take combat?
Right.
And I tell you something, you could do all this stuff perfectly and not be able to take combat. I pretty much guarantee he couldn't. You want to be in a foxhole?
Yeah, I want to make it really clear what you just said, because some people are going to be like, "How does that correlate?" It's really simple. If you can't take the stress of somebody being mean to you and teasing you, you certainly can't take the stress of bullets whizzing by your fucking
head. And by the
head.
way, me and fucking Dave are not actually saying we never broke down.
Oh sure,
but we never gave.
I had
up,
a breakdown in basic training. That was epic.
We never shit. I mean, we maybe had problems with individuals, but never.
Tommy, I almost washed out of basic. I've never told that story. I almost washed out.
No, they wanted me out.
I came very fucking close.
Yeah.
I had a full breakdown, and instead of helping me along of leaving,
and you retired as a sergeant.
I had a drill sergeant who picked me up, dusted me off, and fucking gave me the confidence that I needed to fucking get my shit together.
Ahead. Pretty much the same story in some ways, to be honest with you. November goes. This is on. In September 3, written up for saying he would. September 3rd, written up for saying a word we won't mention. I wish you would, because it's possible to source it there.
Right.
Lifeofonion.com. In November 2005, he goes to Oklahoma. This guy traveled more than any fucking troop I ever met. I mean, this is unbelievable.
It's a lot of traveling.
You know,
because
he was probably applying for everything.
Well, it was schools. You could tell he was going to schools over and over, which is great.
This may be something that's different in the Air Force that me and Dave don't understand or know about.
You and I were pogues. I mean,
Yes.
plain and simple.
Yes,
in
we
fact,
were
not a
pogues.
great
No
term,
doubt.
but we were. We were not grunts.
But we also knew how
you
the
were
system
more
worked.
high speed than I was at the beginning.
You
Fuck,
think?
man.
Well, no.
Well, yeah, you went. You know what you went to. I don't know if you've put that out before, right?
What? What about that?
You went to jump school.
Yeah, I know, but I washed out.
Well, still, I didn't. My fat ass wasn't
Washed
jumping out of a plane like
Washed
that.
out. But
I
I
mean,
didn't dump on
recreationally.
anybody. It wasn't the black hat's fault. It was probably the system. But you know what? It doesn't go to. I have my theories, but it doesn't do me any good to blame anybody. I think they needed. I did. You know why I think I washed out? Because I passed the test a week earlier. I'll tell you exactly why. Because, and maybe rightfully so, I wasn't going to fit in the 82nd Airborne. It was a little too high speed for me. So what? Just went to freaking Germany and banged a bunch of broads. It was great.
And you didn't write a blog post on it, Tommy.
No, I would never done that. I would have known not to do something like that. Because I was in uniform. You know, so by no means are we saying that we're perfect soldiers, but we did get fully honorable discharges.
Yes, we did.
Article 15s and all. February 12th, 2006, promoted to Airman First Class, E3. May 2006, works in Canada. In September 2006, Greg announces that he'll be deployed to, I can't even say,
wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
What?
Read that last part. When was he promoted?
February 12th, September 3rd, November goes to October. February 12th, 2006.
2006. When did he go to SEER school?
2005.
Well, according to the SEER school regulations, you had to at least be an E3 to even go. Now, that may have been different in 2005, but according to what I read today, SEER training, any special forces, you had to at least be an E3.
The only thing that I could find in the videos that he confirmed is he did go to special forces training.
Yeah. I know there was some speculation on sniper school. I know that is definitely E3 minimum.
Yeah.
And SEER school had the same requirements now. I don't know if they did then, though. I didn't notice that earlier. That was
May 2006, he works in Canada. September 27, 2006, Greg announced will be deployed to Ali Adid, which is in, where the fuck, Qatar, I think.
Yeah.
March
Kuwait.
2007, he moves to South Korea after requesting to go, and he was discharged in 2008.
Yeah.
Very underwhelming.
I mean, shit.
Very underwhelming.
Incredibly underwhelming.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the really funny thing. His projection, where he was probably going in his career, was fucking great.
Yeah.
was great. I mean, he was probably one of these guys who fucking just could do everything physically.
Nothing
but
mentally.
He pissed everyone off.
And nothing mentally. He obviously mentally was not cut out for this. Okay, here's the thing. I want you to take a close look at this. Under honorable conditions, this is a general discharge. This is not what me and Dave get. Technically, it's one lower. And we'll get into that in a second with some of Greg's own words and why he sort of spins it in a strange way. I have not caught Greg in an outright lie, but I have seen somewhat word mincing. Here we go. Here's Greg's talking about the document that they got that leaked.
The ongoing narrative is that I was dishonorably discharged.
Which is 100% true. The anti-Greg people did put that out there. It is absolutely false, and it's wrong.
Right. Okay, so now people are releasing statements saying I was discharged generally under honorable conditions as a conscientious objector. You know, a conscientious objector, what I told everyone I was in the first place. You guys implied that I wasn't discharged how I said I was. I wasn't discharged honorably in any way.
I got to be honest with you. It's almost impossible. When I first heard it, I didn't believe it.
Right.
Of course, I didn't say anything publicly like a lot of Onision haters did.
No, because we're smart.
It was very, very difficult to believe. But once you start seeing the entire picture, his attitudes towards the military, the video, then you can see where this is going. He's what we call a shitbag.
Yes.
And it's an Air Force term, too. Because I heard Brandon say it about half a dozen times.
It's a universal military term. Shitbag or not a shitbag? It's a very easy game.
Shitbags.
And then you release a document that says I was discharged how I was described, and then I was discharged under honorable conditions. And it's like, firstly, these are the documents that I showed you in videos, and those are the documents I was given. I'm not going to present false documents to you because I'm pretty sure that's a crime. So I can only show you what I got. And I got documents that said I was discharged honorably. But the documents you pulled up say under honorable conditions. And you know what? That's fine. If I was discharged generally under honorable conditions, that is still literally honorable. By the title, it says honorable. So thank you to the people who ironically released these statements admitting that I served my country honorably. How awesome of you to prove that I actually served my country with honor.
I don't know if I go that far, but by the strictest military definition, he served honorably. That is undeniable. But let me give you an idea what a general discharge under honorable conditions actually means. A general military discharge is a form of administrative discharge. In other words, your company let you go, which also plays into me and Dave's theory. If a service member's performance is satisfactory, but that individuals failed to meet all expectations of conduct for military members, the discharge is considered a general discharge. In other words, you're a fuck up.
Well, that and the conscientious objector part probably plays into that.
That's true. So general discharge under honorable conditions. To receive a general discharge from the military, there has to be some sort of non-judicial punishment. In other words, there's probably an Article 15 floating around there.
More than likely.
Correct the unacceptable military behavior. So that also means, in other language, they had to exhaust all other options. But he may have been able to get around that with being a conscientious objector. Which I don't know anybody. I mean,
no, it's pretty fucking.
Literally,
it's
he's the only person that served in the military at the same time I did that got one that I know of. I have any idea of none. Any idea.
What's interesting about it too is you and I both were under the impression that the general discharge actually goes honorable on its own after 6 months to a year. That was something that a lot of soldiers believe. I know I always heard that.
Did too.
I always thought. But we looked it up today, and that's actually not the case. And maybe Greg doesn't even know this himself. You have to apply for it. You have to ask.
You actually can get this up. You probably, and especially since so much time, you could get, if you haven't already, a normal honorable discharge and be eligible for the GI Bill. Let me get to that. To receive a general discharge, it has to be some non-judicial punishment to correct the unacceptable military behavior. So we know he's getting it's either for the conscientious objector, or there was something unacceptable about his behavior, and we do know he had unacceptable behavior. We don't know if he got an LOR for it by that video. All right. Yes. The behavior of military standards. The discharging officer must give a reason for the discharge in writing.
Show the video.
Show the video.
Show the video.
And the military member must sign paperwork that they understand the reason for their discharge. Now, the reason for his discharge was a conscientious objector. All right. The veterans may not be eligible for certain veterans benefits under the general discharge, including a GI Bill. Sounds like a punishment.
This is why it's important.
And we found out GI Bill out of the question.
Out of the question.
Out of the question. And there's other stuff out there, too, that you are not eligible for. Now, it doesn't mean by the strictest definition of the rule that you serve dishonorably, but let me tell you how it's seen in the military, all right? I guess, for lack of a better word, culturally, you're a shitbag, and that's dishonorable. It's not literally dishonorable by the letter of the law.
But by your peers.
Here's another thing. Employers don't like it if they know even a little bit about the military. I see a general discharge and I'm hiring people, gone.
Especially if you have somebody else who has an honorable that are competing
against.
And here's
why. Me and Dave both got Article 15s. We got non-judicial punishment, right? We got corrective punishment that we didn't go to court for, all right? Because we
company grade.
Up. Company grade, okay? All right, that one doesn't follow you around. We can get in that another time, all right? And we still managed to get fully honorably discharged. We fucked up. We're punished for it. In Dave's case, he lost rank. I came
and my promotable status.
Yes, lost his promotable. So I lost my promotable status. I was E4 promotable. I came. So essentially, I did lose a half a rank, if you want to look at it that way, and to sergeant, and we still managed to get fully honorably discharged. Yeah. It is really, I think, you can objectively say that this service record is nothing to brag about. And that's my problem with Dave. They're the chest beating, and thank you for your service. I don't think I could thank Greg for his service. And I thank foreign soldiers for their service. I'm sorry. This is nothing from my perspective to brag about. This is nothing to beat your chest about. This is a venture that failed. That's it. That's it. That's putting it kindly after I saw that disgusting fucking video where you spit. I mean, you basically spit in UCMJ, you spit on your unit, you spit in the Air Force, and you spit in the entire military by making it because you couldn't speak. You couldn't play ball like everybody else.
Right.
You couldn't be disciplined and embarrassed like everybody else. Yeah. And you know what? The fact that you even got a sniff at Special Forces training showed that there was tremendous potential there. Incredible.
Yeah, you could be training soldiers right now, man.
Yeah.
You could be shaping the way the military
and maybe
is.
Look, if one thing, if he came out as like, I was a real fuck up 10 years ago, but I was really cut out to make videos. I was cut out to act. And I would say, sort of like the XQC guy. He ain't cut out for the fucking bigs in Overwatch. He's cut out to stream. And maybe that's better for everybody. But
I got to be honest.
Not Greg. Not Greg. No.
I got to be honest with you. Before I saw that video, the one that we just showed, I actually had a little bit more sympathy. In fact, Tommy and I talked earlier today where I told him that I didn't think saying I wouldn't thank him for his service was really an appropriate thing to say. I actually even had more fucking sympathy for him that the anti-O community and the others that do target him with a lot of hatred went at him so hard over his record. But after seeing the fucking video, man, it's downright disgusting.
Yeah.
To do it in uniform, knowing that you're still in, that you have to go and face the people that you're spitting on after you do it. I mean, that is a level of fucking just.
And again, we are not challenging his veteran status.
He's a vet. He's a vet.
He's a vet. He's a legitimate
He did everything
veteran.
he said he did.
He did everything he said he did. And people lied about him. And they slandered him legitimately.
Yes. And they were wrong for it.
And they were absolutely wrong for it. Here's him. No, that's not the one I want. I got another one. This is when he's going over, because Greg's big. Sear told me that Greg was really into, he's hits every document and what have you. This is him going over his documents. And this is what really, actually, this is the video I saw almost a year ago that made me want to make a fucking podcast on it because I found it so arrogant and insulting.
So I've repeatedly advertised myself as one of the most honest YouTubers on YouTube.
You and fucking Keemstar.
And the reason I did this is because it's the truth. And I might even...
But note, this video was actually a response to Keemstar.
Oh, God, how good.
Be able to find a document that proves I was diagnosed with chronic depression once upon a time. Not sure if I have proof of the second one, but we'll find out. All right, so here is a letter from the governor thanking me for my military service.
He has to.
Right.
Probably has to.
So anyone who publicly...
Everybody gets I got that. I think I got something like that from New Jersey.
Accused me of not serving in the military.
Your wife got one?
My wife got a letter of thank you from the bomb holder
town mayor. This is what Sear told me about him, that he keeps and files everything, which is kind of fucking amusing.
Military, as I know many of you have, you can publicly apologize for your statements too. So here is a letter from the governor thanking me for my military service. So anyone who publicly accused me of not serving in the military, as I know many of you have, you can publicly apologize for your statements too. Otherwise,
I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I disagree with him on that one.
He's right.
If you went
He's
out
right.
there and you made a federal case and you said he didn't serve and not a veteran. You didn't have all the facts in there, man. Fuck you.
You owe him an apology.
You
he
do.
served.
You do owe him an
He
apology,
served.
especially
You
if
owe
you're a
him
big YouTuber or something like. You owe him an apology.
your statements could be viewed as slander. All right, here is a review that I got in the military. I'll go ahead and censor out the
You're gonna love
sergeant's
this.
name. This is how people
We'll watch
Wait,
closely.
whoa,
You
whoa,
gotta-
whoa.
Okay. What does that look like to you?
It's a counseling statement.
There we go. Listen
It's
to
a
this.
counseling statement.
Listen to this.
said that I functioned in the military. You can take a look at that and confirm that I was actually a useful member in the Air Force for quite some time. So for all you
Counseling statement.
It's one counseling statement. How many do you get
Look,
a week?
Oh, well, check it out, man. Depending on what unit you were, I fucking grew
I
up
got
in the
one every
goddamn
Friday.
military time. We got weekly
Yeah, we got it
counseling
weekly too.
statements. Weekly.
I don't know how they do it in the. I don't know how they do it in these, and it can run from unit to unit. I don't remember an army
Monthly is
unit,
more common.
but it's actually the same fucking document. This is not. This is one of these things that is universal. Yeah, he might have gotten a good counseling statement 1 week. Let's see the rest of them.
Right.
Something tells me after you made that video, it probably wasn't all that great. Counseling statements can be given most of the time they're at the end of the week, and they just kind of summarize what you've done. You did good, bad, or the other. In the Army, I'm not sure about the Air Force. Maybe they do it too, because I think the Air Force test into. They actually physically test into going to the NCO Corps.
There's a
where
reason, though.
you
He's
collect-
probably touting it, though.
Yeah,
There's
what?
probably a good reason, because I know in the Air Force, these are way more important in the Air Force than they were in the Army.
Yeah, and maybe well, you should collect them all when you're going up for promotion. Let's actually read
Army,
this.
they didn't give a fuck.
Vital member of the Wings Unit Compliance Inspection, resulting in an overall excellent for squadron. Excellent desire to rise above his peers to leave the final score of 92 in the quality control evaluation. Thank God I wasn't in the Air Force. That sounds fucking boring. Attention to detail. They always put that in every one of them.
Oh, God, I love it.
Specialist Callahan's got great attention to.
No,
guys-
I don't think you ever got that one.
I did. They put it in because everything's pre-written. A lot of these sergeants, they have half this shit pre-written.
Yeah,
They like, take
copy,
it out if
paste,
you didn't
copy,
do it.
paste. Yeah,
Yeah, it's copy and paste.
was good.
Quick, I'm not saying that's what happened to him, but that's the way most of them do it. Quick reactions and fast speaking lead to personnel reaching medical treatment during a major traffic accident. That's pretty heroic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, and I'm sure that's legitimate. It's probably his best one, and that's why we're seeing it.
If I had to guess, this is a quarterly, more than likely a
There's
quarterly.
probably a quarter. Yeah, because there's so much. Because usually there's only right one or two things.
This is a lot.
weekly.
This is
a
a
big
lot.
one. And it is dated. Ability to work under pressure. Maybe that week or that month or that quarter. Well above his rank and lead to somebody liked him. Well above his
Absolutely.
rank.
And this is
leads-
probably why he went to SEER school, bud.
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, it's true. Safe to be. He had real potential. It'd be fantastic.
God damn it, yeah, man.
Yeah. That's good. And traffic. Getting medical treatment. I mean, God, it sounds like he had all the tools except in his head.
Right.
Involved in 2 IFEs on Tinker. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Tinker.
Spent
it's an
numerous
Air
of
Force
off-duty
base.
hours volunteering in order to support his squadron. Fantastic. The base and local community. I never got that. I was banging
No.
German broads.
That's a high speed fucking
It's high
counseling
speed,
statement
man.
right
There's
there.
no doubt about it. And some of you guys do need to apologize to him. But this is one. Let's put this all in perspective here. Donated time and money to the Red Cross, Airmen's Memorial Military Museum, the Air Force Sergeants Association. Volunteered for off-duty time to provide loving and caring child care for members during a squadron dining. He probably got told to do that one.
You know what's interesting? I just noticed.
Yes.
Look at the date, 2006.
2006.
2006. This is kind of that time where everything started to go in the opposite direction.
Yes.
This is where the videos started coming. This is when he washed out of fucking SEER school. All that, like, it's around that time period.
Somebody likes him.
Yeah.
Somebody likes him.
Yeah.
That's the one where he's in Oklahoma too. Well, I guess things are going good. But keep in mind, whether this is a quarterly or a weekly, the next one, this does not represent his military career. And it's like
No.
Dave says, it sounds like a quarterly. You have to come up with the big one and tells you all the fucking great things he did. You don't want to get a quarterly if it sucks.
No.
You could get all right, let me give you this instance. You can get one on the spot too. Let's say your boots are untied or your
Right.
uniform's not looking good. You get sort of a correction. Specialist Callahan says he's going to do such and such to fix this, that, and the other thing because he came in with his boots not looking correct. Or we used to shine ours. Remember those days?
Oh God, man, yeah.
We didn't do it forever.
Were you? Wait. You were in when you still had the black boots?
Yeah. I had BDUs when I
you
came
tail
in.
end.
Yeah,
Tail end of that.
Very tail end. In fact, I held out for the longest amount of time to get my ACUs.
There were a few of you motherfuckers,
Yeah,
man.
really
Used to
held
piss
out.
everybody off.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. Well, really, nobody came through until we got deployed.
I missed the boots, though, man. I did. I
Yeah.
missed them.
Well, I
like shining the boots.
Dude, guess what? A week after wearing the desert boots, which you just have to brush, I
The
didn't
brush.
miss that shit 1 minute. I used to get jump boots and shine the tip so you could see.
Yo, you motherfucking shammer.
Yeah, I was
Did
like,
you really?
Yeah.
Just a
Brush
little bit.
aside,
Yeah,
all-
just
but you know
looking at
what?
tip
But you know
shine.
what? My tips look better than most guys' boots. So. I mean,
Probably.
yes,
Well, it's a
yeah.
tip, motherfucker.
Because somebody taught me.
Sometimes just the tip is enough.
Somebody taught me how to do the actual like you always say, I'm gonna shine so much you're gonna see, and it's like, how do you do that? And somebody showed me how to do it, cotton balls. You know, so I
Yeah, the
started
mirror
doing
shine.
that.
Yep.
No, my uniform was always squared the fucking way.
Time. So for all you people who like to crap all over my military service, looks like you now have to admit that I am a U.S. veteran and maybe get over whatever personal problems you have with me and have the decency to thank me for my service.
No.
God, he's so arrogant.
No. That's up to the individual. It won't be coming from me.
Here is a list of my accomplishments in the military
That is not an official document.
No.
that I wrote down. It's a
Looks good to me.
Yes.
decent list. I was applying for a promotion or something. These are a list of my duties in the military.
What is that?
That
What
I
document?
don't know.
I'm not familiar with that document.
That one I am not familiar with. Never got one of those. You know what? That could be the backside of a counseling statement.
Yes.
Very
Maybe there's okay.
And this
Could be the same one.
represents how I performed in those duties. As you can see, I did quite well. Here is my honorable discharge paper. Can you see right there that honorable is checked? That's proof that I was honorably discharged. Actually,
Yes, you got an honorable. You got general. It's nothing to brag about.
General with
General under
honorable,
honorable
yeah.
conditions. It's between a fucking problem and an actual honorable discharge. It's
Right.
It's like limbo. It's like, you know what? I tell you something. I knew guys that got them that deserved dishonorable discharges. Absolutely deserved dishonorable discharge. But for some reason, somebody felt guilty because a dishonorable will fuck up your life.
It stays with you. You're done.
You're done. It's going to be a tough life. Yeah.
Vega said it's an NCO type eval, but he wasn't an NCO yet, so I don't know if I don't know if that's
it
it.
could be.
He was up for promotion, but I don't think he was an NCO yet.
All right.
people suggesting I was never honorably discharged. Again, people who don't know me, who have never met me, or ever asked me for evidence. Which
Here's the thing. If I had to guess, there were a few anti saying that this is nothing to write home about. The type of discharge you got is nothing to write home about.
I clearly am capable of providing. These are all the signatures I had to get when I was out crossing Osan Air Force Base. That's right, I did in fact serve in South Korea, just like I said I did. I also claimed that I was in Special Forces training briefly. As you can see from that document
And that has been confirmed.
I just showed you, that is also a fact.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, so he's saying it's a full evaluation, not a counseling statement. Okay, Vega, thank you.
Okay, so you got one good one. It seems like
Yeah.
a lot
Well, no,
of
it's just an evaluation. It's
Evaluation.
regardless if it's good or bad, it's just
He has
an
a
evaluation.
macaroni picture in the fridge that says honorable. Now,
With
the
a bunch of
strictest-
fucking stars on it.
the strictest sense of the word. Again, I can't. His status is unquestionable.
Right.
Unfucking questionable. And I'm not just saying that because challenging somebody's military status on YouTube is a direct violation, right? Right.
It's the right
a
thing to do.
fact, and it's the right thing to do. But I can also say that's not the one you want, as we used to say in the mind. Soldier, that's not the one you want.
No.
I'm getting flashbacks and shit.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I have not felt this military minded in a fucking
not the
long
one you want.
time. I brain dumped everything.
Yeah, I know. I think
I've been out a long time now, man.
I think
I've been
you pushed
out.
it way
I
more than
retired in
do.
2010, man. Can you
Yes.
believe that? It's been 8 fucking years.
Yes, that's right. Hey, if you enjoyed this part of the program, we're gonna say, "Oh, Vega, get in there." Oh, he's
Yes,
first one in
please,
there.
Vega, get in there.
All right, guy I'm about to put on now was with the Rispetto unit in Afghanistan, and like I said, we're pokes, right?
Or folks.
I generally think he's a legit fucking hero. He knows 2 Medal of Honor winners. Most people don't even walk past one their entire lives, even guys in the military. And we work with him on Catch 33. The Lord Vega. What are your impressions of this high-speed soldier's military career, Lord Vega?
How about this super troop?
Yeah. What do you say? Oh, don't bug out of me.
I'm here.
Oh.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
So what do you
Thank
think
God.
with what we presented?
Dude, I came in late. The first thing I saw was a counseling statement you guys were goofing on.
Yeah.
And then I saw the evaluation. Because the counseling statement is literally, dude, if you can
For anything.
just behave and you get your counseling statement.
Yeah, you did a good
And
job
you
of listening.
Yeah, because those are mandatory. Because on mine, I have to dig mine up. But in my unit, they were always giving you counseling statements. And if you fuck up, and then you're the only ass in the fucking room, and nobody else in the unit's getting a counseling statement, it's bad.
You know, it's funny. I had what did they call the overnight duty when you had to do the 24-hour shift, Dave?
In the Marine Corps, it was like Fire Watch or something like that. And for us, it was CQ, and then you had
CQ.
Yeah,
I had a CQ.
Command and quarters.
I had a sergeant. I've done a million CQs, right? And they weren't too bad. I mean, you had to stand up the whole.
I like CQ.
Yeah, because you got to play video games and shit.
Yeah, man, we brought video games to play. Fuck yeah.
It only sucked if it happened. It was great because you had like a day off, right? It was great if it happened on
Thursday,
Monday,
baby.
or Thursday was the best. Everybody wanted
it on Thursday.
If you had it on Friday,
No PT
Saturday,
the next morning.
Yes, no PT the next morning. Free stuff. But I remember coming to CQ and like had this sergeant come to me and goes, "Callahan, you did a great job tonight." Yeah, because you didn't catch me falling asleep. And he wrote me a fucking good counseling statement.
Yeah.
And I showed him, wow, good job. I'm like, I don't know. He just had a hard on to give me a counseling statement. So it's not like, he doesn't reflect. See, that's the problem with what I think Greg was doing. He's misrepresenting what he's showing because there's a bigger story to what a counseling statement is. And I thought that was crap.
That one did seem like a quarterly eval, though. It did seem like
it did like okay. So you had a good quarter, great. So
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit because you could be a jerk off, dude.
Yes,
yeah.
first.
Well, look, we got to give him credit for some of the things that we saw. The fact that he went to fucking SEER school is goddamn impressive. That's fucking
SEER
impressive.
school's badass. I got to read this verse. This is all the list of all the deeds I've done while in the military. Shows white piece of paper with scribbled crayon on.
And fucking Roman numerals. Roman numerals. I love it.
Versus fucking I know.
And
go ahead.
Also, there's like the SEER school thing. You can hop in there and hop right the fuck back out. And there's mandatory slots too for some units. Like there's
that's true.
you could be in any kind of branch, and then if you have to go down there, then you just go. Not everybody they had that.
Go ahead. He's right.
No,
he's
that's
right.
true.
So it's not like, I had when you say some special forces training, the first thing a vet's gonna ask you is like, what the fuck you mean some? What does that mean?
Yeah.
You stood in line and then you got the fuck out of there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like airborne school. You shut your eyes in the opening brief and they say, hey, this is what you're gonna be doing. This is what is expected of you if we're at a time of war, yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. Now before you open your eyes, everybody that doesn't want anything to do with jumping out of an airplane behind enemy lines, get the fuck out of line. And when you open your eyes, it's you and like 10 other people. So I did go to airborne school. That counts.
I did go to airborne. I'm fucking washed out.
Well, there's a story that he reportedly refused to go to the rest of SEER school because he knew he had to kill a rabbit. Now that's a story that's out there. Don't know if it's true or not, but that's a story that's out there.
I gotta be honest.
No, that kind of stuff left a long time.
No, it still takes place. I looked it up.
Peter recently went after the Air Force, and the Air Force told him to go screw me. Dave just checked today. I was shocked because I got to be honest, the kill a rabbit, I thought that was for sniper school, and I always thought it was an urban legend.
No, it's still under SEER.
SEER school,
it's still there.
SEER school in friggin' SF and even in the Air Force is pretty fucking high speed. Okay. And my theory is that he was physically cut out for it, but not mentally. That's the impression that I'm getting.
Which fits his MO.
Yes.
He's nuts.
He is wacky.
I think that guy could probably get really physical and pull it off, but his demeanor and all that shit, you can get fucking peered out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't like this cunt. I don't fuck him. Let's vote him out.
And it is a boys' club. He's right, especially when you're going to special forces or airborne school or Rangers or anything like that. And Sergeant Starkle told me this really fucking funny story. He knew somebody that kept going to special forces school, right? But he looked like this. Sorry, you can't see.
Nice. It's a good look.
And he used to come back and he'd wash out and he would ace everything and go through the entire course because in special forces, at least in the Army, like if you're like they ask you, do you want to go? Do you want to go? They don't scream at you. Go. They go, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Okay, sign over there. And there's nothing doesn't count against you. Because there's so few people that can get through it. But even if you get through it, they might not take you. But Sergeant Starkle's theory it's because the guy looked like this.
Yeah.
And they didn't think we'd fit in. That's why I think I got screwed at airborne school because
something's wrong with his face.
Well, that's why I think I got fucked out of airborne school because I fucking did the test a week before at Fort Gordon.
Well, something
You
is
know?
wrong with your face, though. To be
No,
fair.
well, I think I didn't have the all the guys had huge muscles and a fucking square head and everything, and I
you
was
did not
fucking
have
skinny
that.
as
You
a
were
rail.
skinny as a rail, still
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of.
skinny.
Ew.
Oh, I know a few guys that got fucked at the push-ups. For
yeah,
sure.
that's a 40.
Oh,
They
yeah,
call it
yeah.
the 41 club. They call
Yeah,
it 40. I don't want to make
yeah,
excuses.
41, 41, and I'm sitting there doing push-ups next to this bodybuilder, and I'm like, how is this guy not getting it?
Right.
And it's like he's nailing the push-ups, and for some reason, this guy's got a hard on for this fucking guy to fail.
You just made me feel so good because this has been bothering me for 12 fucking years.
Oh no, it happens. It happens.
Oh, it
well,
happens
you know
all
what the funny
time.
thing was? We did an extra duty at Fort Benning, and this colonel walked up, and he said, they called everybody to attention. He goes, I want to talk to you guys right here, right now. This is not the end of the road. This is very much the beginning. Some of you, maybe all of you, think you got screwed. Most of you are probably right. I'm like, why are you telling me you screwed me? It took so much balls to sign that paperwork, you know? Why are you telling me
but
this,
a lot of them don't care, dude. They're like, fuck them, whatever.
Game.
And he
It's a
said that,
numbers
and
game, Tommy.
that's what he kind of hinted, that it was a number. There was too many. There's too many guys, and the Black Cats are part of the 82nd Airborne, and they're looking for a certain body type. That was kind of explained to me. So I mean, it fucked me up. I couldn't look at a soldier with wings for about 5 years. I couldn't look at him. If see a guy with wings, I just walked away. I couldn't handle it. What would you do if you were in a room and you found Kingslayer and Onision having crazy, raging butt sex?
Yeah, I said it, butt sex.
Fucking put it on Twitter.
Yeah, grab a camera.
Put it on Twitter. Actually, no, I take it
Call
home.
Vega and Tommy and start filming shit.
I take it home and pixelate it so I can put it on Shot from the Point. Goof on him.
Pixelate it.
I'd send it to Vega so he could make it an intro. You know,
Right?
Man.
What great intro that would be.
This is the almighty.
Independent excellence.
Yeah.
Bam!
Oh!
Just the end, just flat out bricking right
Do a
in
re-
Onision's mouth.
Just do a remix with Real Talk.
Oh, so good.
Nah, it would have been like, this is the Almighty. Oh no.
yeah.
No.
Oh, stop.
No. Ah, boy.
Dude, I did hear him say from the clip you showed anyway. I did hear him say, or what do you say? Oh, why don't you guys do this and just thank me for my service? Like,
pissed
the
me off.
fuck? Who
Yeah.
did? What kind of what kind of veteran
Greg,
says you should thank me for my service?
Let's make
Shut your
clear
mouth.
that he
Like,
is a
what?
vet. He is a veteran, but he is not a war veteran. Let's make
Not a
that
war vet.
abundantly fucking clear. I don't know what they do in there, but he has he doesn't have patches. Well, by Army standards, he does not have patches on both soldiers.
he didn't say anything that he was ever deployed, and so there's no reson to think he was a war vet. I don't think he is,
Again,
but he is a vet.
I do want to repeat, and I do want to think that he is a veteran by law.
Yes.
And his status is correct, but we think he kind of minced words a little bit and led you to believe that he's something that he wasn't. And the video, it's like Dave says, the video, making that political statement about the war
God.
just basically says everything that you'd
A
ever
truth
have to say.
tobacco fucking
Whether
video?
you agree, if he would have made that video when he got out with his uniform, I would have had no problem with it.
Right.
But he
Right.
acted
Because he
really
didn't break the law.
and that was fucking disgraceful. I find that disgraceful. And if you want to think it's and I tell you something, with all the problems that he had and all with the video going on, and he had shitbagitis. That's kind of it seems like he had shitbagitis. So Greg, while you may have not left the military because you're a piece of garbage and conscientious objector, it is really easy for people to speculate relatively reasonably that you did it because you couldn't hack it. There is no evidence that he couldn't hack it and got kicked out, but there's circumstantial evidence.
Yep.
That's
I can't even get on him over the conscientious objector thing because I had an incident.
Yeah.
I had my own
God,
incident with it.
listen to this fucking story.
I had
fucking
my
Vega,
own
then
incident
we're
with
gonna
this.
end the
This
show.
was
Listen
a
to
young
this
troop,
story.
19 years old, right? We were getting ready to deploy. We were about a month away. We were going through everything, fucking getting all the paperwork together. And we got this briefing talking about, if you have a father who served in Vietnam, or if you were the last of your bloodline, last of your surname, which I was, or at least I thought I was at the time. Turned out I was not even fucking right about that. Because I still had a cousin alive with the last name. Didn't know that. To sign this document, not even sign, just check this block. So I did. I checked both blocks
And
because
what
I
did the
fell
block
into
say?
both
What
those
did the block
requirements.
say? To be
It was.
important?
It didn't. It didn't even say conscientious objector.
Okay, but what did the blocks? What were you checking?
The two blocks were for that I had a father who served in Vietnam, and that I was the last of my surname. So I was the
And both
last
were true.
male. carrying
true.
my CERN.
So basically, what you're saying is you got a document. Say, hey, soldier, check this. If you applies to you, and you did it, which I've done 100
so I
times.
did it.
But the thing is, you signed the conscientious objection request.
Next day at PT, my Sigo comes and literally fucking physically pulls me out of formation and dresses me down. To this day, the worst I've ever been dressed down in the military. I mean, he called me every name in the book. What kind of fucking pussy shit? This is 2-6 infantry. And this is a Sigo saying this, by the way. Another fucking pogue yelling at a pogue. And he's fucking getting into my ass and all this. I'm like, sir, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't object to anything. I'm ready to go. Let's fucking do this. He's like, you signed. I'm going. They told me to fucking check the goddamn block. So I went to the chaplain. The chaplain was this big fucking Samoan guy with a really light voice. He's like, Vancura, is everything okay with you? Is everything good? Are you okay mentally? I'm like, sir, I just did what I was fucking told.
They thought you were trying to sham out. They thought there was something wrong and you were depressed.
Yeah. I had people that were coming up to the Sigo trying to explain, no, this is what the guy told him to do. And Vancura went and asked 3 separate occasions, this is what I'm supposed to fucking check, because I did. And he told them to shut the fuck up. So it was, and then the chaplain luckily was in the room with me when it all happened. So he was like, this is no problem. This is stupid.
He told
and
you
he
to
sent me
sign
on my
something
fucking...
and didn't tell you what it was for, and you weren't supposed to sign it.
No
Because
idea
I
it was
gotta
to
be
get
honest
out
with
of the
you,
fucking deployment.
The mere mention of conscientious objector, whether it's fair or not, does send a shockwave
There's a stigma.
of cowardness.
Yeah,
Not saying it does. From what I understand, Amish people have served with conscientious objector status during World War II and draft years. So the Amish do it; they don't fight, and they get. But I understand they don't get out of it; they actually finish their service. Anything more to add, Lord Vega?
Yeah, we had one of those guys.
Yeah. Oh, you did have one of those. See, I never ran it. That's why I had trouble believing this.
Yeah, we had a guy. He showed up, and it was well. To keep a long story short, right? So we packed his shit. We went out to Chowkay, and when we showed up, he saw all the bullet holes. He saw like just he was in shock.
Yeah.
He was like, what the this is where we're gonna be? Like, yeah, where the fuck do you think we were gonna be? And he's like, we just drove for like 45 minutes. Like, yeah, we're in Afghanistan, dickhead. He's like, well, okay. Oh, do you guys get into fights often? And I'm like looking at my buddy that we just hopped out of the truck, and I'm like, yeah. What do you I don't understand what, because he was a replacement from Germany because we lost a few guys, right? And he's sitting there, and he's just like, for some reason they put him under me. So when they put him under me, like we got into a firefight, I'd say about 3 hours right after we showed up. So they mauled us over that day. And then fucking I turn around and this kid is screaming at the top of his fucking lungs with his helmet off. And he's got his fucking armor on, or just his vest on and nothing else other than his trousers and his fucking boots. But he's like screaming, holding his, just like you see in the movies. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so I looked at him and I was like, "Get the fuck up! Shoot something!" He's just screaming and screaming and screaming. And his name, I could tell you offline. I don't want to say here, but his name was hilarious. And so they put him under me, and then the next day I took him out on top of one of the actual
first class pussy.
Yeah, well, I mean, this kid was fucked up. After that, it was fucked up because, and we have
the infantry.
Huh?
How did he even get to the infantry? I mean,
dude, trust me, man. We needed people. We needed people,
look,
and it was.
I also want to make clear that me and Dave were pogues, but some pogues do fight. My sergeant was 25 uniform. He got a Bronze Star. It's just in general they don't. If you get put in a high speed unit like your unit, Vega, and Dave saw some combat as a 25 uniform.
I kicked it a door.
A door, but I mean, I don't think that me and Dave Etter had any delusions that we were only going to be in front of a computer, that it could happen. Odds were against it, but it could happen.
Well, there was a lot of fairy tales of like Black Hawk Down and all that crazy shit. They just didn't see it actually happen. They don't, people don't know what it feels like where somebody's directly trying to kill you. Like somebody has their sights on you specifically, and you have the heats of the rounds. People don't know that either. You can't feel that in the movie theater, or on the DVDs because fucking player. Where as somebody's shooting at you, you actually feel the heat from the rounds the closer they are. So it's almost like somebody takes a blow dryer and just quickly pans it across your face.
It's getting like little brushes, quick brushes of it.
Yeah, it's just not wind. It's not wind. It's literally the wave of the heat. And then you see the dust kicking up. The dust doesn't exactly look how you would think it looks. RPGs are literally shot and explode like right after. There is no hang time as far as you could tell. There's no RPG and then you can dive. It's literally a boom, bang. like
Bang.
that,
Yeah,
quick.
it's that quick.
And then you have the only thing you can say is 107 rockets. That's the only, and there's videos online too. If you look up my unit's mortar team, they uploaded a bunch of shit online, and you can actually hear 107 rockets. Actually, I'm in a couple of those, I think, running
Hey,
around.
did you get an Article 15?
No, I never did. No.
Fuck. Man.
We did.
We did.
Well, our unit was really like to the point where it's like that Latin grandmother, she'll whoop your ass if you do something wrong, you know. So there was one of the, you know, there wasn't a lot of paperwork. There was more like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
so you
got
got guys showing up with fucking black eyes and fucking all
No, he
fucked
took
up.
care of
You know what I
everything
mean?
else.
And the only thing that your platoon sergeant would look at you like a disappointed father. You
God,
know,
I feel
like
like
he
a
wouldn't
pussy
be like,
talking to
all
me.
right, Article 15 time. He'd just be like, all right, this guy's a killer. I like this guy.
I got hit for tax evasion. I put gas in the wrong car. It was a German car and not one that was registered to the military. And I remember you know, you always have one of those, like, you know, old guys in his 40s, already been in fucking 20 years. And he said, Callahan, I honestly would have just screamed at you if you're in infantry unit. They wouldn't have done shit to you for this stupid fucking.
Yeah, they would have.
You know,
They would have laughed at you.
Garrison.
Like,
That shit
fucking
happens in
retard.
Garrison.
And
You
then,
know,
like, it even got worse because it's like I got the Article 15, and I remember one of my NCOs, and he was real high speed. You know, he was one of those intelligence guys, but actually had seen combat. It was on the ground. And he says, "Let me tell you something, soldiers. If you don't at least get one Article 15 in your time in the military, I don't trust you."
Right.
And then he would
I've
go,
had soldiers
except
like that.
Callahan's. His don't count. Stupid. So I didn't even earn the fucking respect by getting a cool Article 15, like getting in a bar
Yours was
fight or
so
something.
fucking
I mean,
dumb.
it's like, you know, like how do you get a cool Article 15, you know?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it was.
nah.
Nah.
Except
I always
Callahan's.
feel like a
Callahan's
pussy
is
talking
dumb.
to Vega, man. I really do. Every time that we fucking talk about anything military-wise.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I wasn't
I'm
exactly,
actually-
pussy ass
tomorrow I'm
unit
going
either. I
up
was
to see
2-6
the
infantry in
bunch-
2003
well, go ahead,
going to
Tom.
Iraq, but still, what he did is
Yeah, what you
whole
did
nother
is
world,
nuts.
man.
Who are you going to see tomorrow? Vega?
I'm gonna go see some Marine boys that I got that I know that they're fucking in Panama City Beach. He just got married, so we're going up there for a. And it's
Nice.
like all military guys, like Marine Force
Nice.
Recon, fucking all grunts pretty much, and medics,
Yeah.
docs.
You know, that's one thing I
Sorry.
don't like because you moved around a lot more, and I think because the whole thing of being combat support, you bounce around the world. All the infantry guys I know still talk to each other 10 years out. That's not necessarily the case as much, I think, with units like me and Dave are in. We tend to drift slowly, but
Right.
you guys are lifetime friends, or maybe you drift slower than we do.
Yeah, no,
you know, I think, but
there's not many I keep in contact with.
But see, you know, like, that wasn't always the case with me. I was keeping track of everybody, and then slowly but surely, especially when YouTube came around,
I hated everyone in my first unit. Like I didn't, and then fuck, the only person that I ever kept tabs on was my first NCO, who was a goddamn murderer.
Yeah, I
So,
know. That's another
John
story.
Russell.
Well, did you guys?
John Russell.
That was a question I never asked you guys. Did you guys stay? Because in Italy, I was in the same unit and the same platoon. All the way up from E1 all the way to
I was in
E5
Wiesbaden
going
the
on
whole
to
time.
E6.
I wasn't in the same platoon and slave
What's that?
unit. No, I don't know about Dave. Bounced around all over the place.
I was in bomb holder,
units.
Dex time, and Wiesbaden, but I was in the same unit when I stayed in two. I stayed
I
in
stayed
first
the
AD
same
the whole
division.
time.
I stayed in the same division. I bounced.
Yeah,
all
I was
over
in
the
first.
place.
I was in first
But
army
I
division the
also
whole time.
I also stayed in Wiesbaden the whole time, but I bounced in different platoons and different units and all over the place. And I wasn't always a. Tell Vega to make his own YT channel where he talks about the military experience. I'd buy into that straight shit right away. Man, I probably would.
Let him upload to the one that he
Vega, why
has
don't you
first.
promote your channel a little bit? Because you got new stuff coming up on the formerly Catch 33 channel, and I highly recommend you guys go back and sub it if you for some reason you unsubbed it.
Something
You wanna-
special's coming,
wanna,
kids.
I want to let him know because then I got to get out of here because I want to go get a drink. I'm talking about his army shit.
Yeah, fucking just go to Twitter, the Lord Vega, and then the Catch 33 channel, which after I think a couple of days, I think it's good enough that everybody should have either seen it or informed that it's changing. Then I'll change the name over
Oh, nice.
to the Lord Vega. So
Okay, thank you very much. Hey, listen, everybody, if you went this long, I'd appreciate it if you throw me that like. I think we were fair but hard but fair with Greg, and we were also some of his detractors and outright liars in some situations by saying he was dishonorable. I got a dishonorable discharge, but we hope we put the whole thing in perspective and how it's viewed from employers, from what military benefits, as far as that concerns, and what a general discharge under honorable conditions actually is. Nothing to brag about. It just
Pogue!
Pogue Patrol.
Yeah. This is fucking funny. And thank you very much. Make sure you sub Lord Vega. Make sure you hit Dead on Dave Productions right here on YouTube. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all Sunday. got a big announcement. You know what that might be? I'll be seeing y'all in the UK real soon. Come see me.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-Town, the King's home, slapping five.
Hey, I want to say this right now. Greg Onision is one of the few YouTubers that I've criticized before and actually has not come back at me. So I know a lot of you guys expect him to do it. I actually don't, because I had tweets before. I haven't even been blocked yet.
To make it hard to breathe, here's a headlock.